is up, guys? Antoine here once again from Mad Talk. Mad Talk is all about showing how entrepreneurs and creatives make just make an impact in their everyday world. And today we have a guy who, in my mindset, is probably one of the best mentors when it comes down to just mindfulness and impactfulness and everything that's going on with what makes you an entrepreneur and what makes you a creative and how you can be successful at it. David Meltzer. How you doing today, David?
Thanks for having me.
Nah, not a problem. And just to give you guys a little bit more information about my man David here, David is also the co-founder of Sports One Marketing and formerly served as CEO of the renowned Legion Steinberg Sport and Entertainment Agency, which was also the inspiration for the Jerry Maguire movie. So definitely, that was one of my favorite movies. Show Me the Money. That's all I Show me the money. That's how it was. But David is more than that. David is also a 3-time international best-selling author, a top 100 business coach, and the executive producer of Entrepreneur's #1 digital business show, Elevator Pitch, and the host of the top entrepreneurial podcast, The Playbook. His life mission is to empower over 1 million people to be happy. This seems like a simple frat, but yet it's a powerful one. And his main thing is that he wants to provide value in all of his entertainment and all of his work and all his books, everything that he does, he wants to provide value. And a part of that mission is for the last 20 years, he's been providing free weekly trainings to empower others and to get them to really think outside the box and go towards their happiness, go towards what can make them happy and go towards what can really build their business. And these trainings are every Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to get a little bit more in that during this interview. But David, let's start it off with this. Let's talk about your backstory a little bit, because I know in this bio we talked a lot about like the crust of, what you're doing, but who is David? Let's talk about that. Like, how did you get to the point where you are now?
For me, it was all about my relationship with money. And that's because I grew up poor. And I feel sorry for the rest of you that didn't grow up poor, because I can't teach you what I've learned. And the main thing I learned was what that relationship with money was. I, grew up with 6 kids, a single mom. She worked 2 jobs, never stepped back from hard work and smart work, but was a 2nd grade teacher, filled up turnstiles at the 7-Eleven and convenience stores with greeting cards, packed our dinner in a paper bag. And I learned one thing: money buys love and happiness. I knew that because only time I wasn't happy was when we didn't have enough money. Didn't have enough money for a car, a dishwasher, school, food, whatever it may be. And so my whole life was about that relationship of how much money I could make and how happy I could be. And not only was it for me, but it was how much I could give. But the problem is my relationship with money and giving was all messed up as well, because I've always gave, but I gave with conditions, I gave with judgment, I gave with trades. And so whether it was giving charity, I wanted acknowledgement and recognition. If I gave a sibling a down payment for a house, I wanted something back. If I bought my mom the house and the car, which I always dreamed of, I wanted to be the favorite child. Every single decision I made was about money. I wanted to be a professional football player because they made a lot of money. Then I wanted to be a doctor because they made a lot of money. Then wanted to be a lawyer because they made a lot of money. But then realized that I could be a salesperson and make more than a lawyer. So I went to the sales job. And then I learned that you could make more money by raising money. And I became a venture capitalist. And then I got into the technology world with the first smartphone and became the CEO of the first smartphone in the world. Then sports agency. Everything was about money. And that all came to a head 2 years before I lost all my money. So I'm one of the few people that you'll ever meet that bottomed out 2 years before they lost their money. I lost over $100 million in 2008. But in 2006, I learned that money doesn't buy happiness or love. I learned that giving does not automatically trade for receiving, but instead I was going to shift the paradigm of 3 worlds. The first world was the world I was born in, the world of not enough, where I'm a victim. Everything happened to me. Why wasn't I as rich as the other kids? Why didn't I have two parents? Why didn't I have a nice house, a nice car? Why couldn't I afford to go to summer camp? Why didn't I have enough to eat? And then I moved into the multimillionaire stage of just enough, where I was buying all types of things, but I was buying things I didn't need, and I was buying them to impress people I didn't even like. And that was an empty world. Even though it was a filled world, filled with material things, soulfully, it was an empty world. And then I moved 2 years before I lost everything into the world of more than enough. And that's where my mission started. To empower others, to be happy. I learned my relationship with money was one in which receiving, meaning the more that I could receive, to come through me for others, to add value and appreciation and give it to everything I was connected to. So I believe that money doesn't buy happiness or love, but money allows me to shop. And if I shop for the things that are aligned with my values, I'll be really happy. If I shop for things that I don't need, that aren't aligned with my values, to impress people I don't like who aren't aligned with my values, then I'm going to be very unhappy. And that's the backstory about my success, came from all the lessons I learned about my relationship to that currency, the object of energy we put into the flow to get what we want at this vibration, the currency of money, and the currency of faith, the object of energy, the aggregate of what we think, say, do, believe, and of course, my own personality traits, characteristics, obsessions, and addictions that have been handed down by at least 4 generations, great grandparents, grandparents, parents to me, but all of them aggregated together equal faith. And I have blended my currency of money with my currency of faith in order to make a lot of money so I can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. I ran the most notable sports agency in the world. And then Warren Moon, the Hall of Fame quarterback, and I started a sports marketing company. And now I have my own media company, my own brand. I have a podcast called The Playbook. I have a TV show called Elevator Pitch. I have books. I speak around the world. I'm the top executive coach. I do every single thing I can, all leading to one thing: getting people to show up to a free training on Friday so I can empower over 1 billion people to be happy. Creatives, entrepreneurs, executives, it doesn't matter. I create a mindset for success. This Friday, the training is going to be on scaling your business, scaling your life. I do live Q&A to help facilitate directives towards exact values that you have and experiential values that you have. I'd love for everybody to join me every Friday. If you can't catch me live, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., 11 a.m., 2 p.m. Eastern time, 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Pacific, then catch the replay. They play everywhere. They're still just as good. You just can't ask the live questions like Antoine likes to ask.
Yeah. Yes. And since we're talking about your live training, for me, again, like you just said about the live questions, I think that's one of the biggest parts that makes your training so important, and why so many people should really try to watch these trainings, regardless if you're watching it live or if you're watching the replay. Definitely catch it because of how much value you're putting out there. You've been doing that for 20 years. Like, just think about that. That is just incredible to me, because I'm 26 right now. So you've been doing that since I was 6 years old. So you've been doing that a good majority of my life. So what is the biggest thing that you've learned from doing these trainings, just about the people like you've been training? Because a lot of these trainings were inside of your company, right, for the last 20 years, until recently you started doing them out here.
The last 5 years, we've got really popular. So community members, but it's all live.
Yeah.
Recently with COVID, we have thousands of people because we went online and started inviting everybody in the world to come on, and got thousands of people involved, which is great. But moreover, the greatest lesson that I've learned is human nature. And the thing I've learned about human nature is it never changes. And so if human nature never changes, then I wanted to identify the indicator of change, the indicator. And the indicator of change is pain. Pain is a blinker. Pain tells us and indicates to us mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, or financial pain indicates that we have to change direction. We got to move in a better direction or make our situation better. So pain is a blinker. Human nature never changes. What changes is our direction, and pain is the indicator to change direction: mental, physical, spiritual pain. So how do we find the light, the love, and the lessons in the pain that we see or feel or hear. And that's been the key to the trainings that I do, is to help people adjust when they feel pain into a bigger, better, expansive, accelerated place that allows them to make a lot of money in this realm, help a lot of people in every realm, and have a lot of fun. In other words, be happy. Happiness being the biggest and greatest virus of all time, spread by witnessing it, strengthens all spiritual, mental, and emotional parts of you. And most importantly, it will even strengthen your immune system. So it protects you against all other disease.
You know what's interesting? What's interesting about that? Because when you were talking about human nature and just how that impacts the decisions that we make and how pain really influences us, I noticed something with myself. It's just that, like, if pain happens, like if somebody calls me out when I mess up on something or something like that, for some reason that puts me in gear to really do something into, like, hey, something that I've known I was supposed to be doing, but the pain of like a deadline about to come or something like that is what really, gets that. Do you think sometimes happiness can make like a little bit of, too comfortable in your situation? Or do you think that's more of like a fake version of happiness?
No, I think people can be happy in a comfort zone, meaning
Okay.
they're not expanding, accelerating, et cetera. The
Mm-hmm.
problem with staying comfortable in an expansive environment, if you're not expanding and the environment is, eventually you're going to go and put yourself out of that comfort zone. You're going to start experiencing pain. So the only way that you can have a continual happiness, a consistent happiness, is to learn to enjoy the consistent every day,
Mm-hmm.
persistent without quit pursuit of your potential. If you just want to stay at home high on your mom's couch, broke and sick, and that's where you want to be, eventually you're
Mm-hmm.
going to feel pain. You're going to feel shortages, voids, obstacles. You're going to have emotional, physical, spiritual, and financial pain. But if you enjoy and take a positive perspective with the lens of productivity, accessibility, and gratitude in the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential, you're going to experience happiness the majority of the time. I'm not happy 100% of every day. I'm happier than most people that I ever have met, but there are portions of the time when I have to adjust and stop, drop, and roll back into happiness because I have an ego-based emotion and need to be right, offended, separate, inferior, superior, anxious, frustrated, angry. Something like that will set me off in the wrong trajectory and accelerate me into shortages, voids, and obstacles. I just get better and better at the practice of being happy.
Yeah, and I think the pure fact that you recognize that you're not supposed to be happy all the time, or you're not going to be happy all the time. Do you think being aware of your thoughts is also what assists in that pursuit of happiness?
That's a great question because awareness is key, right? Awareness is
Mm-hmm.
attached or directed towards our vibration. We can only be aware of that which vibrates equal to or less than us. So I practice raising my frequency every day. I don't want to live the myth of Sisyphus. I don't want to push a boulder up to the top of the hill every day just to have it roll down. I like to
Yeah.
plateau and grow. I like to utilize my vibration frequency to elevate my awareness. The key to awareness is to understand we can only be aware of that which vibrates equal to or less than us. So if we can increase our frequency, increase our vibration, we can be aware of so much more. In fact, 14 years ago when I started meditating, the only reason I got involved with meditation because I was so lost, ignorant, and resistant to meditation was the guru that taught me to meditate told me she could raise my vibration, which would raise my awareness. I wasn't interested. So she said, what if I could raise your awareness when to buy or sell? That was the motivator, the catalyst that said, oh, I'd like to meditate because I'd like to know when to buy or sell. Then I learned, hey, if I learned to buy or sell, I could learn something even more powerful, like how to be happy and how to make other people happy and how to teach other people to make other people happy.
Yes. And that's what I think is going to make the biggest impact. Like you were saying about that million people, you want to help a million people. If you can help make a million people happy, they can help make more people happy. And then it just spreads, like you said, it's like a virus. It's kind of like one of those TV shows that on a movie where you see like the impact of like a bomb or something like that, and it goes all across the world and it just spreads straight through. Honestly, that ambition alone. And I think it's one of these goals that's really going to outlive you. And I think that's what makes someone's legacy so powerful. Look at all these different entrepreneurs, Walt Disney, Steve Jobs, all of them they died and then their companies became more and did more. And I think it's because they always had that big mind vision. What do you think that our viewers who are watching this can do to find that big mind vision, that chief aim, if you will, like that burning desire, that thing that's going to wake you up every morning?
Yeah. Yeah, so you mentioned Steve Jobs, and to blow your mind a little bit, my goal in life is to empower over 1 billion with a B people to be happy. And the way that I came to that big, outrageous, audacious idea is that I did the math and I connect the dots backwards, like Steve Jobs has taught me, right? Zoom in, zoom out, connect the dots backwards. So what I did was apply math to it, put a realistic approach to being happy and empowering over 1 billion people. So I said to myself, what if I can empower 1,000 people? 1,000 people like Antoine, and teach him, spend my time every Friday, have him watch my videos for free, come to my training for free, and empower him so that he learns not only to be happy himself, but how to teach another 1,000 people to teach another 1,000 people to be happy. 1,000 times 1,000 is 1 million. 1 million times 1,000 is 1 billion. What if we together could create a collective consciousness to create over 1 billion people to be happy, knowing that one particle of light overcomes 1 million particles of darkness? And if we together could empower that many people to bring light, to light other people's candles, to light other people's candles, like you said, like a big bomb spreading around the earth. Imagine what the abundance would be like, what the perspective, the collective consciousness would have in order to create more than enough of everything for everyone. And I promise you, if we have a collective consciousness of more than enough of everything for everyone, that's exactly what we'll have. So I have a huge goal. I have a huge idea, but I'm very pragmatic and practical in its use because I have zoomed in, zoomed out, and connected the dots backwards into a believable methodology, a business plan per se, that allows me to have other people get behind me, get with me, get through me, to say, yeah, you know what? Dave Meltzer can empower me, and I can empower 1,000 to empower 1,000. And all he needs to do is find 1,000 of me, Antoine's. And if he finds 1,000 in his lifetime, like you said, I'm planting seeds under trees that I'll never sit under.
Yeah, and they're going to outgrow you. That's how it's going to be. It's going to be a big force that you just made all across the world of positivity and happiness. And that to me is what resonates with people. And then also another big thing, because we're going to have two more questions and then I'm going to hit you with the 2-minute pitch round, my favorite round about this. But one of my favorite things about you is how open you are about your past. And again, it's one of these traits that you do see in people like Gary. You do see it in people like Evan. You see it in a lot of the more successful people in the world. Even if somebody were to judge like your past and everything like that, you're still like, hey, this is my past. That's who I was. Now this is who I am, and this is who I want to be. And that's what I want to put out into the world. How powerful is that vulnerability?
Yeah, so if you become vulnerable, as you say, you become invulnerable because the truth vibrates the fastest. And Gary, Evan, myself, we've come to peace with the mistakes that we've made. So, if I tell you in the past that I was an a-hole, and then someone says Dave Meltzer was an a-hole, you say, yeah, I know, he told me. But I just trust that I am evolving and learning. I'm a hypocrite. My values change every day because I'm learning, expanding, and growing. And I have
Mm-hmm.
made mistakes. I was a liar, cheater, manipulator, overseller, and back-end seller. I had good intentions, but I made huge mistakes, and I didn't always treat people the way that I wanted to be treated. I wasn't always kind. I was an ego-based consciousness. I've learned from my lessons, and I'm continually to tell you here today that I don't know what I don't know, and my values will change as you interview me next time. You'll say, "Oh, you said this last time." I don't believe that anymore, man. I grew. Right? I grew. There's a lot. I believed in the Easter Bunny before. I hope not
Mm-hmm.
many kids are watching. But you get my picture. I would have sworn, I would have bet money the Easter Bunny existed. So
Mm-hmm.
I grew. I learned. I didn't know what I didn't know. I believed in the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus. I know what
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And that's okay. So I think everybody, look, pursue your potential. Know the truth vibrates the fastest. Sooner or later, the truth will come out, and it's your truth. So vote for what you want. Forgive yourself for not knowing what you don't know, but move forward, not backwards. We're looking for progress, not perfection. And so I
Yes.
think all the people that you mentioned there for mentioned that we all are pursuing our potential, and we're all forgiving of the dumb mistakes that we make.
Of course, of course. And if not just forgiving to the people that we may have impacted with our behavior, but also forgiving to ourselves. You know, forgive yourself if you did something bad in the past, something like that, like it happened. Especially people who dwell on things from like 20 years ago. Again, I was 6 years old 20 years ago. And just to think about all the stuff I've been through since the age of 6 until now, and that people are dwelling on like mistakes or something like that that happened from that time frame to that time frame is astonishing to me. And just that ability to forgive yourself. And I think that's what a lot of your content teaches a lot of people to do. So guys, again, definitely check out his social media links. We're going to have it in the description. Check out his trainings and everything like that, because he's not just a person who's going to help you build your business. He's not just a person who's trying to help you build your following. He's trying to help build you as a person and trying to make you better as a person. So always have that open mind with everything that you do, and always have that, especially with your content, David. I don't even need to really tell you that, because you always have it. You always turned it on, especially your family. You have a very beautiful family and everything like that. So it was really cool. My last question before we get into the pitch, let's say we have somebody who's just about to go to college, about to go to school, everything like that. And they say, you know what? I want to build my own business. I want to be my own boss. I want to be control of my own future and not have to rely on anyone else. What would be the top 3 tips you would give that person to tell them, like, hey, this is where you start? Just to start, laying that one brick down. I'm not talking about building the whole wall.
Yeah, no, number one, ask and attract. So the number one thing I teach you is learn a series of questions of how you can be of service or value or fill a need. And 2, ask everyone in person, on the phone, via email and media, radio, print, TV, and social media, how can I be of service? Not only, but do you know anyone that can help me? So if you're asking everyone and attracting them to you by being of service or value and asking, do you know anyone that can help me, you will accelerate and expand at an exponential rate and build your business with the expertise, situational knowledge, and the dummy tax that the old guys like me have done simply by asking. Number 2, be a student of your calendar. So understand what being a student means. That means pay attention and give intention. Intention is what you think, say, do, believe, and those unconscious competencies that we discussed previously. Attention plus intention equal the coincidences that you want. You want to be known as lucky? Then create the coincidences that you want in your life by paying attention to and giving intention to and being a student of your calendar. Study what you have planned every day. Study what you don't have planned, the blank space, the empty space in your calendar, and plan for your sleep. Remember, when you're sleeping, it's only time when your ego is out of your own way and you've cleared the interference or corrosion between you, subconsciously and unconsciously, and the greatest source of power, light, and lessons that exist that you're always connected to. Start your day at a higher frequency, not right back at the bottom. Learn to plateau and grow. And then finally, and the easiest thing I can give as advice is do it now. Remember, 100% of the things you do now get done. And the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is simply that successful people get stuff done. So 100% of the time, do it now. If you can't do it now, put it in your calendar, prioritize by what's most important, and study it tomorrow as a student in your calendar. Ask and attract. Those are the 3 things that I guarantee. Crawl before you walk, before you run, will build you a solid foundation to build any business that you want.
Man, yo, that's all you need. Like, if people don't watch anything else in this interview, just watch that. Just watch that. Just watch that. That will give you what you need. So now, David, again, we're gonna do something that I love. I love this game because it puts everybody in the hot seat, and I just like to see who's winning and stuff like that. All right, so we're gonna do the 2-minute pitch segment. And this 2-minute pitch is where we have our creator, our entrepreneur, who's the guest on this interview. They, in 2 minutes, pitch something that they're currently working on and the impact that it's gonna have on the world. So I will be pulling up the timer right now. We got it. 2 minutes, starting now.
I want to ask everybody to come to my free trainings on Friday. They're at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time, every single Friday. I have been doing them for over 20 years. And the purpose of the trainings are simply to create happiness in your life, to teach you how to enjoy the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of your own potential. No matter where you are, or what you're doing, or who you are, it doesn't matter. I'm going to teach you how to pursue your potential and be happy doing it. Happiness to me entails the blend of the frequency of money to make a lot of money so that you can help a lot of people, that blend of faith, what you think, say, do, and believe, in those unconscious competencies. I'm going to blend pragmatic money-making tips with faithful tips on how that blends in both worlds in order to effectuate whatever it is that you want. Spend 60 minutes with me every Friday. And if you can't catch it, catch my replay. Everything is free. I don't sell anything. I am going to create room for everything that you want in your life and to teach you to live in a world of more than enough of everything for everyone. I guarantee it'll be the best use of your time. It is free. I've been doing it for years. I have credibility. You will build a network. You have one-on-one time to ask me questions while we're doing it. It's an incredible experience that will not only change your life, but empower others to change theirs as well.
Excellent. I love it. I love it. And you finished with only 7 seconds left on the clock. So you, good job. Good job. All right. So guys, again, it was so great having you here as a guest, David. We're definitely going to bring you back onto the show at some point in time and really just get more in depth on everything that's going on. Let's talk more. Let's get into the nitty gritty. Let's really get into some things.
Thank you, my brother.
Not a problem. Not a problem. And again, follow David on all of his social medias, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All the links are going to be in the description box below. Definitely follow him. And if you found value from this interview, in the comment section, we're going to start something new. I want to start a question of the day. So, David, what would you say to our audience who are about to watch this? What would be the question of the day that you want them to answer?
Question of the day is, how can I be happy?
Plain and simple. How can you be happy? Comment that in the comment section below. Again, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and especially if you found value, share this on all of your social medias. Just like David, I'm trying to help David with his mission. He wants to affect 1 million people. I want 1 billion people. Let me get it straight. 1 billion people. He wants to affect 1 billion people. I want to help him do that. And I want to spread his message as much as possible. So guys, definitely spread this interview, spread this video, and smash that notification bell, smash that subscriber bell, so you can know whenever our next videos or our next interviews are coming out. And again, David, it was such a pleasure having you here. Everybody else, have a great day. Not a problem. Have a great day, guys, and I'll catch you in the next Mad Talk.